Muffet sat on a tuffet playing with her Nintendo. Down came a spider, sat down beside her and said, "Oh please, can I have a go?" But there really wasn't any way Miss Muffet would let the spider play, least not at any rate till she'd zapped the aliens on level 8. For computer games spawn many ills, such as deleting all known social skills, so children on games have little caring for that thing that used to be known as sharing. Yet spiders are known for being persistent, but children on games can be so resistant, so every time the spider inquired, Miss Muffet pressed buttons and fired and fired. The only other thing she did was try to ignore the arachnid, but if the spider managed to incur her wrath, she'd turn to it sternly and say, "Look, just F off." Yet for a whole 6 hours did the spider persist. Equally so did Miss Muffet resist, but by then she was revving up quite a flow, and there's no way now she'd let the spider have a go, for she'd nearly reached level 34. She'd never got so high before, but perhaps Miss Muffet should have asked whether a spider's patience can last forever, because by now the spider was getting really gruff and decided there and then, enough is enough. So deciding her best move was to intervene, she stepped right in front of the Nintendo screen, completely blocking Miss Muffet's way, and then squeaked quite firmly, "Let me play!" But this meant Miss Muffet couldn't see the aliens on level 33, and they zapped her way back to level 1, vaporising several hours of fun, and therefore bringing her game to an end. This sent Miss Muffet round the bend, so she stormed off in a completely wild rage, intent on fetching her father's 12 gauge. But the spider, unfortunately, misunderstood. It thought Miss Muffet was being good, for surely if Miss Muffet was stomping away, it was now the spider's turn to play. Yet when Miss Muffet returned with a gun, her temper still aglow, she was enraged to see the spider on her Nintendo. So when the spider looked up and fearfully inquired, Miss Muffet took aim and fired and fired. Shot after shot she pumped into the spider till the arachnids' insides were all outside her, and as her entrails splattered all over the floor, Miss Muffet kept shooting more and more. Now was it the gunshots that made her ears ring, or a nearby bird that started to sing, "Do you kill for pleasure? Do you kill for pleasure?" So she answered by shooting it, just for good measure. Leaving her in peace and quiet and all alone and free to resume playing on her Nintendo. Now computer games spawn many ills, such as deleting all known social skills, so children on games have little caring for that thing that used to be known as sharing. And parents thought it an amazing feat if a child resisted the urge to eat. Then Nintendo invented that blasted machine, keeping them glued for ages to a tiny screen. And psychologists have written pages and pages on how such games trigger psychopathic rages, but worst of all they erode that fine line of duality that separates fantasy from reality.